NASA has been investigating planet Mars extensively and has sent multiple rovers there. As someone who is planning to establish a permanent base on Mars, Elon Musk has been watching all of NASA's rovers' discoveries. Ingenuity, along with the Perseverance rover, is the latest rover to land on Mars. Now, what are scientists' terrifying discoveries on Mars? On planet Mars, a vehicle named Perseverance is trudging along 2.7 billion miles away. So why did NASA spend so much money on Perseverance? NASA's Martian exploration program has been studying the possibility of life on Mars for years. Liquid water once existed on the surface, according to the Spirit and Opportunity rovers of the agency. NASA's Curiosity rover confirmed that there was life on Mars approximately 4 billion years ago when it was discovered. Perseverance is now searching for evidence of that past life. In it, the difficulties and chaos of the global pandemic of the COVID-19 are described. A 7-minute period of terror followed the launch, during which mission controllers were unable to direct the landing process in real time at the Jezreel crater, the site of an ancient lake and delta river. Mars rover will look for microbial fossils in rocks formed by Mars's warm, wet past. The molecules containing carbon called organics are the building blocks of life on Earth. There hasn't been a direct search for life on Mars since 1976, when NASA's twin Viking landers conducted inconclusive chemistry experiments. As Perseverance travels, she collects soil samples and rocks to store in tubes that will be used for future missions by NASA and ESA. Many laboratory analyses still cannot be done in space or must be very precise despite technological advances in making small, low-power science instruments for space missions. Furthermore, science is about reproducibility. If Perseverance's samples were returned back to Earth, we could run multiple labs with some samples. But what is Perseverance like? Known as the nuclear-powered Curiosity, it is a 6-wheeled, 1-ton Mars rover of comparable size to a compact car. Despite dust storms that block sunlight, Perseverance can continue working. Progress built upon the 7-minute landing sequence, also known as the 7 minutes of terror. During landing, there was a supersonic parachute, a thruster-assisted descent, and nylon cords that lowered the Perseverance to the surface. Researchers and mission operators used navigation cameras positioned strategically around the rover, as well as images from orbital satellites such as NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, to drive continued Perseverance towards promising locations. Perseverance will look for any enticing spot, collect a sample, seal it in a tube, and deposit the tube on the surface. 2 Raman spectrometers are included in Perseverance's life scanning toolkit. Scientists use ultraviolet light to illuminate the soil or rock patches and determine which chemical compounds are present by reading the reflections of the reflected light. Among the instruments on Perseverance is one on Sherloc's robotic arm and another inside SuperCam, a laser at the top of the mast that zaps rocks several meters away. A camera on Perseverance's robotic arm can see details as small as grains of salt, and radar is located on the rover's lower rear to detect pockets of water up to 10 meters below the surface. On board, Perseverance has a weather station called MEDA and a device called Moxie, which will take carbon dioxide from Mars's atmosphere and produce oxygen. NASA's Moxie program will demonstrate that oxygen can be manufactured on Mars for future astronauts to breathe and to use as rocket fuel. Musk needs to figure out how to provide oxygen to his Mars explorers, so he will pay attention to this part. Then, an Ingenuity helicopter accompanies the Perseverance rover. NASA will use the helicopter to learn about how flying machines can work on the red planet, but it has no direct effect on Perseverance's mission. Perseverance's 23 cameras have taken over 100,000 pictures since landing on the red planet. We can already see how the water shaped the landscape in these photos, which will help us in our search for ancient microbial life. There is a gallery online where you can view the raw images of the planet that are made available by NASA. One of the photos is a selfie taken with Ingenuity. The first flight on April 19, 2021, marked Ingenuity's 19th flight. The powered flight took off for the first time from another planet. Then, a 13-megapixel color camera with stereoscopic imaging abilities is located forward on Ingenuity, and a black and white navigation camera is mounted downward. By using these cameras, Ingenuity creates a 3D map of Martian terrain that is highly detailed and clear. With those fetching red and blue glasses on, this type of 3D image pops out of the page. However, perseverance has led to something even more impressive. Perhaps this next breakthrough will forever change the course of space exploration. The car battery-sized instrument used to create oxygen from the thin atmosphere of Mars made another first for this mission. Moxie will keep humans healthy and safe by providing them with breathable air. Utilizing solid oxide electrolysis, Moxie draws carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, compresses and filters it to remove contaminants, then heats it to separate oxygen from carbon monoxide. Upon a hot, charged ceramic component, the carbon monoxide is expelled back into the atmosphere, while the oxygen is isolated and converted into precious oxygen. Moxie produced 5.4 grams of 98% pure oxygen after an hour. An individual can breathe on this amount of oxygen for about 10 minutes. As a result, the process consumes a lot of energy, and the power supply is limited to about 12 grams per hour, the same as a large tree. The technology may also be used to lift astronauts off the surface when scaled up to the size of around 100 times larger. This will not only provide breathable air for future explorers, but will also provide a propellant to lift people off the surface. During this point, you may remember that Musk plans to produce propellant on Mars to power the Starship. While scientists back home anticipate and plan for Perseverance's return, the rover has also been collecting samples. It has taken 6 samples of Martian rocks and the atmosphere. Additionally, Perseverance drilled 6 centimeters into the surface of Mars and extracted a rock core, carefully encasing it in a tube. At the time, it was the first time a spacecraft had ever collected samples from another planet for eventual return to Earth. Researchers can analyze the samples after they are delivered to Mars with technology that may be impossible to transport there. Thanks to the rover, Perseverance has also added another confirmation on Mars, which is the collection of samples. Delta SCARP, one of the crater's largest geological features, has been thoroughly studied by scientists. In more than 3.7 billion years, the Jezreel crater, which is a dry window-eroded depression today, was once a lake fed consistently by an ancient river 120 meters long. There is also evidence of a triangular delta formed where a river once fed into a lake in the crater. Despite the possibility that River Delta was mostly calm, there is evidence of high-energy flooding in the area that made the slow meandering stream into a flash flood. It may be caused by a climate shift. These waters were strong enough to carry boulders downstream for depositing them into the lake bed. The confirmed existence of the lake environment in the landing area hints at possible ancient aqueous life in the sediments. In the short time it has been on the planet, Perseverance has discovered much more. Additionally, the scanning habitable environment with Raman and luminescence for organics and chemical instruments have found organic molecules and carbon-containing organic chemicals in some of the rocks in the Jezreel crater. As well as in the braided rocks, the carbon molecules have been found in the dust of non-abraded rocks. It is believed that the earliest amino acids were formed in water that is rich in organic compounds. So, what can you say about it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video.